Hello, fellow residents of Tamriel. It is the Beeve. This video that we're going to go over today is we're on the PTS right now, the public test server for update 29 that is coming March 8th on PC and March 16th on console. The update, for the most part, is the biggest part of it, at least in my opinion, besides the new dungeons and whatnot that are coming with it. We have a complete rework of the champion tree and how it works now. Um, I'm not completely sure on everything at this point, but I wanted to make this video just to kind of go over what's in the trees, check it out and whatnot, and explain to you what I understand about it at this point. We may have to make another video later on if I figure more out, but I'm just kind of going over what I know as of this moment, and if I need to do anything more with it later on, then I definitely will. If you haven't already done so, if you enjoy the videos that I've been making, please like and subscribe. I would appreciate that greatly. Um, I just want to give everybody in the guild and on Discord that a heads up on what's coming with this new update. So the champion tree rework at this point is a lot different. I mean, when you come to the main screen, this is what it looks like right from the beginning. I'm on the warfare tab right here. There's the craft tab, and there's the fitness tab. So you notice these on the top of the screen. There's four little bars. Those are activated ability type of things. I'll show you how that stuff works here in a little bit, but. This is going to be a little bit lengthy. I apologize. We'll try to get through it as quick as possible, but I just want to show everybody what I've found so far. So this is the craft tree. So you have all these different abilities or all these different things here. Some of them you're able to put points into immediately. Some of them you cannot. To access some of the other abilities or some of the other passives, you do have to put enough points in one to open up the tree to go up higher onto the next. So it makes it sometimes makes putting points somewhere that you normally wouldn't put them because you want to get to the next section of the tree because that's where you need to get to for what you want. So it does make it a little bit more in depth. There's a lot more to it. Also, with this, like right now, I am at 810. It starts you off right at 810 on the max level on the public test server. Now, with this update that's coming, from my understanding, the cap system that's been placed on CP isn't going to exist anymore. So, whatever CP that you have, whether it be 810, 900, 1000, on PlayStation right now, I am over 1300. So I would have 1300 champion points theoretically to put into this tree. Putting them in there, and having 1300 is going to be nice to be able to put things where put in slots, fill in as many things as you want. You're just not going to be able to have some of them active at all times because, like a lot of these base ones, or not all the base ones here, but like, let's start here. This is Sustaining Shadows. Reduces the cost to sneak by 1% per stage. See at the top of the screen there, above Sustaining Shadows, it says add to champion bar to activate. There are some abilities in here that you actually have to have them in that champion bar up here to be able to activate them so that they're working. Now there are some that are just passives that don't need that, like this one down here that I was just looking at a minute ago, Haggler and Fleet Phantom right here. These are these are ones that are not passives. They don't. These are ones that are passives. So when you put points in these, it's going to work. Some of the other ones you have to actually add to the tree to get the bonuses from them. So just to kind of go over what's in the trees here, we got the Sustaining Shadows, which reduces the cost to sneak by 1% per stage. And as you put points in it, it reduces the cost to sneak. You have Professional Upkeep, reduce the cost of repairing your armor by 1% per stage. You can put as many points in that as you like as well. You got Steed's Blessing, increase you and your out of combat movement speed by 1% per stage. We have Liquid Efficiency, which whenever you use a potion or poison, you have a 10% chance to not consume it. So that's kind of nice right there. We have Angler's Instincts, increase the chance of catching higher quality fish by 10%. We have Real Technique, decrease the time it takes for a fish to bite by 25%, so quicker fishing. Go down here, we got Soul Reservoir. When you resurrect yourself or another player, you have a 33% chance not to consume the soul gem. Less damage from fall damage for each stage that you put here. We have Haggler, which gives you more gold from merchants. Like when you're selling stuff, you can increase how much they sell for. Fleet Phantom reduces movement speed penalty of sneak by 5% per stage. Friends in Low Places, this removes 1,000 gold from your bounty once a day, I think it is. Once per day when committing a crime where a bounty is added. And it has to be. It won't do it unless you have over 1,000 or more in bounty. Out of sight reduces the radius you can be detected while sneaking by 1 meter per stage. Infamous, increase the value of fenced items. Shadow Strike, when you kill an enemy with the Blade of Woe, you become invisible for 5 seconds after a short delay while distracting nearby enemies or potential witnesses. While under this effect, you can cast Blade of Woe. I mean, if you're stealing and running around murdering people that you're stealing from and whatnot, that's kind of a neat little thing. Increase the chance to get higher quality loot when pickpocketing. Did that one. Fortune's Favor gives you more loot, more gold when you loot treasure chests. Reduces the cost of Waste Shrine usage by 10% per stage. Wanderer. Steadfast Enchantment. Your weapon enchantments decay 20% slower per stage. That's kind of a neat one. Homemaker, you have a 10% chance to find a second furnishing plan whenever you find a furnishing plan in the world. Treasure Hunter, this gets you better quality items out of treasure chests. Meticulous Disassembly improves the chances of extracting woodworking ingredients and allows for refining of more powerful resins from raw material. Fade Away, escape from a garb wipes 25% of your current heat, but not your bounty. Master Gatherer, this reduces the time it takes to harvest something by 10%. It can go up in 5 stages. Plentiful Harvest, you have a 20% chance to gain double the yield from normal resources per stage, and this can go up by 5 stages, so you can get a 100% chance of being able to get double nodes from picking flowers, picking flowers, or getting enchant the rune stones. God, I couldn't think of that word. in picking rune stones or uh, mining metals, mining jewelry equipment, uh, picking cloth, like any type of node that you find out there. Uh, you can fill this up, activate this passive, and literally just get double nodes every chance you are. So that's really good for people that like running around and farming. Gifted Rider, increase your mount speed by 2% per stage. And then War Mount improves your mastery with mounts, removing all mount stamina cost outside of combat. We got everything here. So that's our green tree right there. And like I said, when you put points into one area, now this just opened up this one down here. If I put, I don't think this will actually open anything up if I do this one. No. But as you put points in and unlock ranks, you can put more points in and then move up and do more other places. And then look, it just shot down here. You can put some in here, put some in here. So I mean, this is just you kind of got to unlock other things to move things around to be able to get to other places. So when you unlock a stage, it normally unlocks something else for you. So no rhyme or reason to how I just put any of those points in there. Just trying to show you how it will open up other stuff for you. See how that worked? Now I can go up here and even get some in here. So, the more you unlock, when you unlock one, more become available to you. So it makes you really have to think about where you're going to be placing points so that you can get the best effectiveness out of the points that you're placing in there. So that was our craft tree. Then we go over here to our warfare tree. A lot more in this tree going on. Got our three over here that are just for the most part just base level type of things. Increase max magic by 26 per point, and it will allow you to put up to 50 points in it. That only ends up being about 1,300 magicka, so it's not really a big deal. There is the same one right here for stamina. And then there's one right here for increased weapon and spell damage by 3% per point, which will also let you go clear to 50 as well, which is only 150 weapon and spell damage. But those three right there are ones that don't open up any other trees. Like if we go here, uh, you got the couple of these abilities right here. Like here's one that grants critical chance, and that'll open up over here to fighting finesse and whatnot. So same concept as before, but we got Tireless Discipline, gain 260 max stamina per stage. On a what does that say? Unassembled? Whatever. My brain ain't working right now. Reduce your damage taken from area of effect attacks by 2% per stage. While you have a shield or staff equipped, your spell and physical resistance is increased by 1900. Cutting defense. You deal 200 magic damage to attackers whenever they damage you with a direct damage attack within 7 meters. Reinforced. When you begin bracing, you gain a damage shield for 5140 for 3 seconds. It can happen every 10 seconds. A lot of these in here used to be passives that just happen. Now you actually have to put points into them. Keep that in mind. Enduring Resolve reduces your damage taken by damage over time effects by 2%. Notice these damage over time, like that right there. Like we used to have Hardy, Elemental Defender, and Thick Skinned. and you could get those into the 10, 15, 20% range. You can get them kind of high. Now they're capped out at like 10%. So you might be mitigating less damage than before. So that's always something to keep in mind. This purple little dot right here, I do believe this one's a different color right here because I think this one here has a lot to do with, in my opinion, like PvP. You got your quick recovery for more healing taken by 1% per stage. So, if you were the type of person that liked having, 10% extra healing received in your champion tree now, that ain't going to happen because it only goes up to 50 points. So you're only going to get 5% out of this. Uh, Preparation reduces your damage taken from non-player attacks by 3% per stage. Okay, so maybe this isn't PvP, that's non-player attacks. Reduce damage you take from magical attacks by 1% per stage. This kind of used to be your elemental defender. And the most you're going to get out of this is 5%, where before we were mitigating in our champion trees and whatnot, I was usually mitigating 10% or more of that type of attack, and now I'm only going to be able to mitigate 5%. So it make things a little bit rougher. Hardy reduces damage you take from martial attacks by 1% per stage. That is what martial attacks is now what they refer to as your physical poison, disease, and bleed damage. Before that would have been about a 10% mitigation in the old champion tree. 5 is the highest you can get here. So at least that's how I would have had it, about 10%. So definitely, they're definitely focusing on more survivability. They want you to be able to survive more and worry less about damage. So we'll get into that in a minute too. Critical resistance per stage. Before you could pump yourself up with a lot of critical resistance. Now, not really. Grants 132 critical resistance per stage, so you're not getting a whole lot out of this, and 2% less damage taken from critical strikes. So you're going to mitigate some damage that way as well. All right, so where'd we debuff here? Last Stand, when you take damage below 20% health, you gain Major Heroism, granting 3 ultimate every 15 seconds for 9, or every 1.5 seconds for 9 seconds. That can happen once every 9 seconds. When you block an riposte, when you block an attack from an enemy within 7 meters, you deal 5,040 physical damage back to the attacker. This effect can occur once every 5 seconds. Duelist rebuff, sorry. Reduces your damage taken by single target attacks by 2%. This would have been like more of like your direct damage thing, which a lot of people used to keep like 23% in that direct damage boost. Now you're going to get like 10% out of it. So once again, definitely going to be taking more damage inside of dungeons and trials and whatnot. So keep that in mind. Survivability is going to be very key. I do believe this is going to be one of the things that helps make people not want to 3 DPS dungeons anymore. I think you're going to find a lot of times that some of the harder dungeons and whatnot, you're going to need survivability. You're going to need that healer there healing you. Grants 260 maximum magicka per stage. We got when you deal direct damage, you heal for 7% of the damage done. We got precision, which is 160 critical rating per stage. Fighting finesse increases your critical damage done and critical healing done by 2% per stage. Backstabber, this gives you 3% more critical damage done when you are flanking, which is standing at the sides or behind, which in a lot of dungeons you're standing behind them, so this is always a good option right here. You can get up to, there's 5 ranks in this, so you can stack 15% more critical damage with that. Occult Overload.
When you kill an enemy under the effect of a status effect, they violently explode for 2160 oblivion damage per stage to all other enemies in a 4 meter radius. Um, then there's apparently 2 stages to this. So grants 33 weapon and spell damage to your damaging abilities per stage, and it has 5 stages. So you can get another 165 weapon and spell damage out of that. That one. Here's another purple one right here where you have to actually go in. Then you have grants 350 offensive penetration per stage. Increase your chance to apply a martial status effect by 30% per stage. Grants 100 weapon and spell damage to your martial attacks. And when you go over on the other side, you have a chance to apply magical status effect per stage, and 100 weapon and spell damage to your magical attacks. And over here you have your deadly aim. This would have been your the old master at arms. Increase your damage done with single target attacks by 2%, like your direct damage stuff. Um, a lot of times, people that were using a lot of single target abilities, like your two handers, using like Wrecking Blow a lot and whatnot, or your Madge characters that were using spamming elemental weapon a lot. They used to have this in like the 72 or 73 point range, which gave them 23% more damage done with those effects. Now it caps out at 10. So once again, another thing to keep in mind. Thaumaturge caps out at 10% once again for like our lightning sorks and whatnot that we used to run with. We used to have our Thaumaturge in like the 24% range. Here it caps out at 10% again. So once again, damage going down. Biting Aura increases your damage done with area of effect abilities by 2%. So the Biting Aura and the Thaumaturge will both like buff the unstable wall or your lightning flood or liquid lighting, whatever you prefer to use. So I mean, you'll get buffs out of both of these for abilities like that. So that kind of helps with like your AOE damages, but it's still pretty low, honestly. Uh, we have our blessed over here. This increases your damage done or your healing done by 1% per stage. A lot of times people had this blessed really high and was able to get, a lot of times people put like 20, or 75 points in this sometimes, and it would give like, or was it 75 or 81, something like that. But they'd have like 14%. It's capping out at 5% now, so yikes. Soothing Tide increases the healing done by area of effect heals by 2% per stage, so 10% there. So when you mix some of these together, it's not going to be too bad for your healers on it. Increase healing done with single target heals by 2% per stage. Uh, this is a nice one right here. Healing a target under 25% health removes all harmful effects from them. This can occur once every 24 seconds, so it's a nice little purge if somebody gets below quarter health. Swift renewal increases your healing done with healing over time effects by 2%. Grants 33 weapon and spell damage to all of your healing abilities per stage. And Foresight. After you drink a potion, the cost of your magicka and stamina healing abilities used within 6 seconds are reduced by 75%. So you're reducing it's not just your next ability, it's reducing it immediately, or for 6 seconds. That's kind of cool right there. But that is like your blue tree, and to like open things up, like we can go into here, put in some critical rating. go into here, make sure that we put at least 10 points into here, so that we can go back here and actually get over here to our Thaumaturge and whatnot. You see how that one works. Red Tree, lot in this one here. Grants 3 health and stamina recovery per stage. You can put 50 points in it, so you can get 150 recovery on all 3. Grants 34.6 armor per stage. Grants 28 max health per stage. Increase the duration of the time you are immune to crowd control by 3% per stage. Peace of mind. Increase magicka and health recovery while you're immune to crowd controls by 40 per stage. Reduce the cost of break free by 110 stamina per stage. While immune to crowd control, you take 2% less damage per stage. When you break free, the cost of your next stamina ability used within 5 seconds is reduced by 11% per stage. When you are affected by a disabling effect, you automatically break free at no cost. After using this effect, you become winded and combat and cannot trigger this effect or others like it for 21 seconds. The free break free, that's kind of cool. Reduce the cost of your dodge roll by 120 per stage. Reduce the cost of sprint by 50 stamina per stage while you are immune to crowd control. A lot of these have a immune to crowd control type of thing to them in this stage. So I'm guessing this is your PvP tab right here. Reduces the duration of elemental status effects applied to you by 5% per stage. While afflicted with a status effect, your combat skills cost 5% less per stage. Decrease the time it takes to resurrect an ally by 33%. Return to life after resurrection with 10% more resources per stage. Increase stealth detection by 1 meter per stage. Grant a 280 max health per stage. Reduce the cost of sprint by 20 per stage. Increase your movement speed when sprinting by 2% per stage. These ones right here are kind of nice. Restore stamina per stage when you kill an enemy. You can put 50 points in this and restore 1,500 stamina. Same thing right here. This will give you 1,500 magicka for killing things. So that's really nice in like the arenas and things like that for keeping up your magicka. Everything that dies is giving you back resources. So that's kind of cool. This one right here is interesting to me. Gain 50 health recovery for every 10 ultimate you have. I was messing around with this a little bit ago on this Sork that I'm currently on, and when you have like 500 ultimate saved up, you have a health recovery of about 3,400. So that's a really nice thing for tanks, honestly. Now, obviously, when you use your ultimate, it goes away, but it's definitely something that's really neat. Like when I run in Maelstrom and stuff like that, I don't drop ultimates all the time. I normally save them. I normally don't kill anything with ultimates until like the final boss on all the stages. So most of the time I'm running around with like 500 ultimate because I don't need to drop an ultimate. I'm killing the stuff quick as can be anyway. So it'd be nice that while you're doing that to have 3,000 health recovery in the process until you do drop it. So really neat little thing there. Shield Master, reduce the cost of your shields by 2% per stage. Increase the effectiveness of your damage shields and damage against shielded enemies by 8% per stage. While shielded, your dodge roll costs 160 less per stage. Reduce the cost of block by 20 per stage. Increase your movement speed while bracing 3% per stage. Reduces the cost of bash by 45 per stage. While immune to crowd control, increase the amount of damage you can block by 2% per stage. Increase the bash damage by 120 per stage. Increase the amount of damage you can block 4% by per stage. That can, so that's another 20% right there. So I mean, just to quickly go over them, that's what's in these trees right here. Now I will, without really getting into applying everything, like what you have to do in this situation is like, let me just confirm what I've done here. Okay, so all of these ones right here that say add to champion tree to activate, these do not take effect unless you go into your champion bar and actually apply them to your champion bar. See how I have three of those in my champion bar now are in the middle? They do not become active unless you make them active. So even though you have the ability to, like, if you have 1300 CP, well, let's just go with 1200 CP. That's going to give you 300 points in every one of your trees, correct? No, 400 points in every one of your trees. Yeah. So you might be able to fill out most of this, but your main damage dealing things, you can only have 4 of them in your tree at a time. So people are not going to be getting having as big of an advantage as they have right now when it comes to higher CP levels to lower CP levels. They're really addressing the power creep that's happening in this game, which I'm okay with to a certain extent. But I do feel like they want people to be they're giving us the ability to make our own builds and center our builds around our champion tree, which is really cool. It's going to let people get really creative and really ingenuitive, and I'm looking forward to that. But for them to do this thinking that they are going to not like it's going to bridge a gap between higher CP and lower CP, I don't think that's the case at this point. I really don't. Many of you know that in certain trial groups you have to be able to hit certain numbers, or they don't even want to associate you in the group that they're in. They're trying to keep that from happening anymore, is the best way that I can describe it. They want everybody to have everyone to be viable in the process. They have really nerfed down damage a lot. The 90k stamina necro that I posted not too long ago, I got 51k, I think, using same gear, same rotation, and putting points where I believe they should be. So it appears that damage is definitely going to be going down, and it's going to maybe level that playing field like they're wanting to, and I'm okay with that. I really am. But the problem with the lower CP people here is they're taking that same thing. Now, for me, like, I don't mind taking somebody that's a level CP 300 that needs a Zon. I can run Scale Color Peak, and as long as they can just follow mechanics and I don't have to be picking them up all the time, I can help get them through it because I can burn through the bosses pretty quick on my own. And I like helping people to be able to get those things, get those better gears, get those better helms and whatnot that are going to help improve their DPS. But if they're backtracking just as much as I am at this point, I think you might find people that aren't going to want to run with those lower level CPs still because it's going to take that much longer to clear this content. They say in their release statement that they put out that everything is still going to be very doable, which I agree with. I'm sure it will be very doable, but they got sick of people being able to burn through mechanics. And I mean, there are times where, like, when you have good DPS, if you got two people in a group that can do, 45, 50k on a 3 mil dummy, you're gonna burn through mechanics, and it's not. You're gonna be able to just burn right through things, and you can almost ignore mechanics for the most part. They want that to not happen anymore, and I get that. They want they want people to favor survivability over damage, and I'm cool with that. But I still think you're going to create a separation between high CP players and low CP players. I really do. I think that's still going to exist, plain and simple. They don't want this whole catch up thing. You got to catch up to your CP. You got to catch up to the meta gear. They don't want that anymore, and I'm cool with that. But you still got those type of people, and it's still going to happen. It's never going to go away, unfortunately. And this might create more of it, in my opinion. It really might. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but that's just kind of my food for thought on that. So I I'm interested to see how this is going to work. I'm interested how the next coming weeks, where they change things and patch things, to see where damage output is going to be when March 8th hits PC and March 16th hits console. I think we're going to be looking at much lower numbers at this point. And I mean, like I said, like 90k down to like 51k. So that's it's a huge amount of difference right there. Huge amount of difference. And if everyone's taking that much off, um, some of these trials that have like the crazy requirements for them, like for like achievements and whatnot, like the Sunspire trial to, you know, no death speed run and hard mode all the bosses in 30 minutes to get that mount and that title. Is that going to be possible now? If everybody's damage gets nerfed down this far, now maybe this is just a bug in the system. Maybe things aren't working all the way because it is the first week of the PTS, and maybe after they patch some things, maybe I'll start seeing damage go up. Maybe it's just a bug in the system. But for now, when I'm looking at, I'm thinking, is something like that going to be possible to do because of how much I'm seeing damage go down at this point? So I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything about it yet. But I just have concerns like that. Like, achievements like that, are they going to be realistic anymore? Are they going to have to change that time frame on it? They going to have to move it to like 45 minutes so that with that damage going down and becoming leveled out more among people, that are they gonna switch that stuff around on the achievements and whatnot? So just food for thought. Just saying. But I don't think I want to bore you guys with any more details. I appreciate you hanging out this long and keep sticking around if you have. Once again, please hit that like and share, or that like and subscribe button if you like these videos. If you have any questions, um, don't hesitate to ask. I'll answer what I can. I don't know everything about this at the moment, but I'm learning as we go along. But I just wanted to give everyone a quick look at the tree, explain to you that you had to, activate certain things, and they have to be on your bar to be active, and some things don't have to be on your bar to be active. So it's all going to play into where you're putting your points and what you're putting into your champion bar that's going to be active. So that's where we're at with this. And as I learn more, maybe I'll make more videos and explain what I figured out or whatnot. But thank you guys very much for tuning in. I appreciate it greatly. Everybody have a great weekend and happy adventuring.